Yo, yo. So this is in response to a fellow artist who says that he hasn't been writing a bunch for the last, 6 months or so. And that the only time he feels that he really writes is when he's really like sick of himself or needing to change or really low, right, at kind of the height of this emotional negativity, what have you. And he wants to write positive. He feels that he needs to write positive to embody the light, as he put it. And he has a vision for who he is as an artist, someone who brings that positivity. He's created content in the past where he's bringing that positivity. And so I really do think, and I'll switch now from third person, whatever, I do believe that you have a gut knowing that you have a coach in you. So whatever degree that looks like, because coach, for me, that word is really opened up to mean many a thing. But it is someone who does embody the light and who serves others, through whatever medium. In this case, art, content, music. Because really it's your brand. It doesn't matter if it's just you talking like I am doing now, or if it's a song that I put out. Because ultimately it's your brand. People don't want to buy your song, they want to buy your brand, they want to buy your story. And when I say buy, I just mean become invested in. Because once you're emotionally invested in something, you're willing to put money into it, you're willing to drive out for it, you're willing to tell others about it. You enter into a relationship with the thing. Hence coach, because you're not a coach outside a relationship. Anyway, I do believe you know that about yourself, and maybe there's a frustration because you're not there, you feel that you're not there consistently up to bring others up, because you oftentimes find yourself down. And you brought this to me, so I'm gonna speak my piece on it and do what you will with it. Here's what I see, here's what I know, here's what I've experienced, and here's what I have for you. You don't have to be positive. You don't have to create positive art. I really feel that this is a chain or a burden, a limitation that you've put on yourself that says my art has to look this way, because you do have that coach in you and you do want to affect others. You want to bring light to others and to yourself in the process. And really, truly, that's what an artist does. But any good art has contrast. There is light, there is dark as well. And in my experience, when it comes to like depressing songs, dark songs, negative songs, whatever, there were times in my life when I was down, because we all go down and we all go up. Okay? Nobody's out there just experiencing there's ups and there's downs, man. Even if you're on antidepressants, like, it's gonna catch up to you at some point. So nobody's up all the time, nobody's down all the time, nobody's in the middle all the time. We all go like this. And when I was down here, there were some songs, man. They were depressing songs, but I'll tell you what, man, those songs, and I don't listen to them anymore, and I've even gone back to some of them and tried to listen to them, and it wasn't right. It wasn't hitting right. It didn't feel right in my gut and in my soul to listen to it. You know what I mean? But at the time when I was down there, and that song met me where was at. And, you know, in some cases, maybe even saved my life. I don't know. I can't. But just get the picture that it highly, highly, highly affected me in a way that actually brought me back to baseline, if not up. Or at least, at the very least, it met me where I was, in my negativity, in my darkness. It met me down here, and it affirmed me and let me know that, hey, I'm not the only one that feels this way. If nothing else, I know that this artist has experienced or is experiencing this level of pain that I've experienced. And this level of pain is okay to experience. And this song right now gives us together, the artist and the listener, a space, a sacred space for that pain to live. And when one experiences the levels of pain that I've experienced, having a space where I can safely experience those levels of pain, of grief, of darkness, is utterly therapeutic and purifying, and safe is the word that I feel coming up. Because it's kind of difficult to carry grief everywhere with me in all that I do throughout my whole day. I've done it, and on some degree that grief is always there. I'm not trying to take that away from anybody. Believe me, grief is a very special, beautiful thing that I do hold sacred to my heart. But having this song allows me to go in, experience that grief to such a degree that I experience it in the safe and sacred space, and now I can go about my day. And I'm not trying to carry it with me, or it's not weighing me down, or you know, affecting these other relationships, because that's what was happening for me, man. In my grief of losing someone that I deeply love, it was affecting my relationship with my wife, first and foremost, which then bubbled into all my other relationships, right? Because I'm like so sad about this one person or this one relationship that I was actually neglecting a relationship that's right in front of my face. And the song allows me to fully feel that, allow that to be expressed. You know, I look at emotion, it's spelled emotion. I look at it as energy in motion. And there's a river, there's a vortex, right? Because everything in your body, all the fluids in your body, they circulate. They go all the way up to the top of your head, down to the bottom of your feet. And they just circulate throughout your whole body. And emotion, water represents emotion in, you know, in the occult, in the spiritual land. So what happens when we don't allow our emotions to fully be expressed, they come up and then they go away. They come up and they go away. That's like this wave. Those are the ups and downs. And all emotions are okay. Even anger, even hatred. And we get dammed, literally, like when you dam a river, you stop the flow of emotions when we don't allow them to be expressed. But the moment we allow it to be expressed again, it can recycle, and now I can experience joy and peace again. So actually, if you're not allowing yourself to fully experience hatred that's maybe rising up in you, or jealousy, or sadness, or grief, whatever, you're actually limiting the amount of joy and peace you can experience, because you're damming up that flow, and the flow is off now. And so now, in a time where you know, I don't want to use the word should, in a time where you could be experiencing joy, you're going and doing something joyful, now you're experiencing like some level of sadness because you didn't allow it to be expressed earlier. And again, the song gives us a space to depressing artist or whatever, and even that, you know, you don't have to identify with that. You can make sad music and not identify as a sad artist or whatever, okay? So, but that's an important work now, through this perspective, through this lens. If I'm providing this space for those emotions to be expressed, for that darkness to be expressed, because here's the thing, no matter how much fucking religion and self-help and all this stuff that you add on to your soul, you're a human being. You're a human being. You have light and dark, as above, so below. On earth as it is in heaven. And that darkness is going to express itself. I don't care. I don't care how much light you bring. That darkness is going to express itself. And now it can express itself in the light, in the open. It can express itself in community. It can express itself in a song, in a sacred space, and, you know, right? Counseling or whatever. All sorts of stuff. Or it can express itself in the dark, and that's where you see, you know, priests molesting children and just all kinds of stuff. You always find out these people who are just so much about love and light are doing some crazy, mad, dark shit. And nobody's looking. I would wager that part of that is because they weren't allowing, they felt like they weren't allowed to be dark at all. And I'm telling you here, you're allowed to be dark, especially as an artist. And in fact, it might even be your duty to express that. Now, there were some times, man, when I was so low. And I didn't know what the fuck to do. And I was so desperate, and I was like, I just got to go to the studio. That's it. I just have to get on my laptop and just make music. No real plan or anything like that, but just so much pain that I had to escape. So I escaped through the song. And those have been the best songs for me. I don't care if they never get any views ever in the world. But for me, those were some of the most powerful songs and experiences where when I allowed myself to fully feel those negative emotions and then express them, I was cleared and cleaned out. So much peace after that. And here's the thing, I do care if other people hear it, because I know if it affects me that way, it's going to affect someone else that way. Okay? I'm not super special or anything. We're all in the human experience. If it can affect me deeply, it's going to affect someone else deeply. And I started to realize that it was my duty, when I was feeling that low, to get into the studio, not just for myself, but for others. And that me feeling this kind of pain and this kind of darkness is not for nothing, and it's not just an experience that's just me. That there's so much more to it, in that through me actually having that darkness, I'm able to provide that light for others. And it shows up as that song, but it's so much more. The song is just a doorway. It's just a space for them to experience their own, because the light comes from them. Just as it comes from you, it comes from them. And so when you hold space for yourself to be light and dark, to allow your light to shine in the darkness, the light shines in the darkness. The darkness is a canvas for the light. Without the darkness, you don't even know light. So to allow yourself to be that fully in your full human experience, pain and all, you're actually holding space for others to do the same, which then increases the amount of light that they experience. And it's so much bigger than me. It's not my song. It is a song that has expressed itself through me. And so I would I would have these songs, I would write these songs, I record them, but then when it came to uploading the songs, and I've still been dealing with this, it's like so much resistance in my soul to uploading it because of what others think and whatever. And this song is like really dark, and then you know, and a lot of my stuff has come out as kind of satire type stuff, and I know that there's reasons for all of it, and that through all of it there is connection, deep connection, whether it's me and the listener or the listener themselves as they're listening. And so here I am, I'm like, oh, you know, because I've had similar experiences where it's like, oh, I want to be positive, I want to lift people up, I want to be, you know, I want to be a God guy, right? Like when I was going through my Christian phase and all that. And then I would write stuff and it would just end up being pretty dark. And then I'm like not wanting to upload it and having all this trouble and stuff. And finally it's hit me that I serve the art. Now it's obvious that the art serves us. That's why I dedicate every day to music, because of the way it serves me and the way I see it serve others. But first and foremost, I am a servant to the art. So when I write a song, that song is bigger than me, and it has expressed itself through me. And if you've ever tapped in, you know in your gut, you felt it, that something bigger and outside of you is using you as a paintbrush, using you as a microphone. You are the tool, you are the instrument that's being played, and it's expressing itself. I've looked at it also as like mining. When I write a song, you know, I don't have really ownership over that. It belongs to the earth. I'm mining. When I show up to the studio every day, I'm mining, and then I strike gold. But the gold, it's all up here in heaven. It's all up in the imagination. It's in the ether. It comes from the universal mind, the mind at large, the all, God. So it's not my song. It wishes to express itself through me. And my job is not to judge whether or not the song is worthy of being listened to or any of that. My job is to serve the art, serve the song. So my job is to sit, receive, have the faith to know that it's going to express itself through me, allow it to express itself through me, and then give that as an offering to others, to the world. And then it's not up to me. The song has expressed itself. It has spoken. I am its mouthpiece. If it's dark, it's dark. And I can have faith and peace, trusting and knowing that if that song has expressed itself, there's a good goddamn reason that it has expressed itself. And the more that I rest in that and trust that, the more that I will see externally, I have this foundation of internal peace, the more that I now see externally that that is true, right? Others are saying, oh, your song really spoke to me, you know, yada, yada, yada. I hope that makes sense. That makes sense. So your art is bigger than you, and if you find that this sadness and darkness and low emotions are wanting to express themselves through you in the song, chances are that there are people that need that space, that are feeling those same things, that are going to connect with that song on a deep level. And that song may even save someone's life. I don't know about you, but once again, times of great darkness in my life, there is, one or two, couple songs, maybe even an album or an artist who just spoke to me in such a way that really, I would say it hosted worship, And my definition of worship, please don't get it twisted with what Christians talk about. I mean, there may be some similarities, but that's not what I'm talking about. I don't share many of the same definitions that the dominant mainstream culture has of things. Worship, for me, is something very sacred. And to facilitate that for someone through a song, I mean, if that's not coaching, I don't know what is. You don't have to be physically present with somebody to spread light into their lives. You don't have to even be happy to spread light in someone's life. You don't even have to be positive to increase the light in someone else's life. And the more you realize that that restriction doesn't exist, this self-made limitation of, well, I have to be positive and I have to make things like this, that's not real. And you're a servant to the art. You're here to serve your art, serve your song. And maybe you don't get to choose what your art looks like. Maybe you don't get to choose what your song sounds like. Maybe you're here to just express and experience it and serve it out. I don't know, man. That's extremely powerful for me. I don't know if that's hidden for you right now, but it's striking a chord in me. So I hope this message blesses and challenges you and rocks the shit out of your world. Because I am just a servant to the art. And right now, this is the song. And I'm just the servant, man. And you are too. You've got a servant heart. I've seen it. I've felt it. I've shared with you in your pain. And I'm telling you that pain is a doorway into life unimaginable. A depth of life and love and light that is beyond your current understanding and paradigm. And if you can trust your pain and trust the art that is expressing itself through you, I believe you will begin to see that. You're going to begin to see that life unimaginable. Fulfillment, contentment, peace, joy. You can feel that, right? Yeah. Me too. Me too, man. Much love, much peace. Till next time.